Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. Government transfers around a dozen secretaries, the decision taken soon after cabinet reshuffle. Coronavirus cases in Nepal surge above 121,000, death toll nears 700. Cooking gas explosion in the capital causes severe injury to 3 people, more than 25 sustained minor injuries. CDC recommends taking flu vaccine. The shots will prevent seasonal flu and severe illness. And Kings 11 Punjab produced their first win in last 5 matches, dents RCB's hopes of going to the top of the table. Now the news in detail. The Council of Ministers yesterday decided to transfer around a dozen secretaries soon after the newly appointed ministers took oath of office and secrecy. After reshuffling the cabinet, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli pledged to fully support the newly appointed ministers. Yesterday's cabinet meeting decided to transfer secretary at the Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration, Surya Prasad Gautam, to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Meanwhile, Sports Secretary Ram Prasad Thapalia has been transferred to the Public Procurement Monitoring Office. Similarly, Secretary at the Prime Minister's Office, Kedar Neupane, has been transferred to the Vice President's Office. Neupane will take the place of Secretary Khagraj Baral, who has been called to the PMO. Secretary at the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transport, Devendra Karki, has been handed the responsibility of the Energy and Water Resource Commission. Likewise, Secretary at the Energy Commission, Ramesh Prasad Singh, has been transferred to the Ministry of Urban Development. Secretary at the Kathmandu Metropolitan City, Ek Narayan Aryal, has been transferred to the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. Irrigation Secretary Ravindraman Shrestha has been transferred to the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transport. Meanwhile, Secretary Yadav Koirala has been transferred to the Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration from the Prime Minister's Office. The government has confirmed 3,749 new cases of coronavirus across the country during the latest round of tests. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, Kathmandu Valley alone reported 1,935 new cases. Within the valley, 1,693 cases were reported in Kathmandu district, followed by 134 in Bhaktapur and 108 in Lalitpur. The total caseload of coronavirus in the country has now climbed to 121,883, while the number of active cases is 36,533. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 694 across the country. The ministry yesterday confirmed the deaths of 19 more people due to coronavirus. So far, 84,518 persons have recovered from the disease in Nepal. Nepal is currently among the top 37 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Supreme Court yesterday issued an interim order in the name of Public Service Commission to include coronavirus-infected civil service aspirants in the upcoming PSC exams. Earlier, the Public Service Commission had announced vacancy for different posts, stating that COVID-19 infected people would not be allowed to sit in the PSC exams. Hearing upon a writ petition, a single bench of Justice Sapana Pradhan Malla ordered the Public Service Commission to conduct an alternative examination adhering to safety protocols for COVID-19 positive examinees. The top court has stated refraining an infected person from sitting in PSC exam means denying them of fundamental rights that include right to employment, right to equality, and right against discrimination. Similarly, the top court has said in its decision PSC's requirement according to which examinees have to self-declare that they are free of virus would create fear of getting boycott. An infected examinee therefore might not reveal their condition, Supreme Court stated. In such conditions, other examinees, employees and all others in their contact also face high risk of COVID-19 infection, the Supreme Court added. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Back after the break, we continue with other national news. 3 people have been left seriously injured after an LPG cylinder exploded at Noya Bazar, Kathmandu yesterday. More than 25 people have sustained minor injuries during the explosion. The gas accident occurred at a 4-storied house of Neel Kumari Chetri. Chetri was in mourning of her late husband. The explosion has left the house completely damaged. The accident also smashed the window panes of more than 12 neighboring houses. The injured have been taken to Manamohan Hospital in Sorakute, TU Teaching Hospital in Maharajganj, including others. Among the injured, only Chandra Kesi, 45, Ramesh Shrestha, 42 and Bishal Karel, 25 have been identified so far. According to eyewitnesses, the cooking gas cylinder leaked, igniting a fire and causing another cylinder to explode.
आफ्नो घरबाट हेर्यो हैन हजुर त्यसपछि त त्यहाँ अलि फेरि मान्छेहरु धेरै कराउन थाल्यो आवाज पनि आयो हैन फेरि म त अब ब्लास्ट भएको बेला म आफ्नो घरको मिटर निभाउनु है त्यसपछि त्यहाँ बाहिर गएर हेर्न गएको त्यो अब मिडिया कसैलाई फोन गर्यो भने दमकलहरु अथवा कोही फोन गर्यो भने गरेको फर्किन लाग्यो एकैचोटी उताबाट माथिबाट के आयो एकछिन लड्यो.
Police has started investigations and have already collected the damage assessment report. General Secretary of Nepal Communist Party, Bishnu Paudel, has been appointed as the Finance Minister for the second time. Paudel, who is well known for his leadership and management qualities, will face a huge challenge of reviving a failing economy due to coronavirus pandemic. A report.
With speculations surrounding the names being nominated to head the Finance Ministry, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has appointed NCP General Secretariat Bishnu Paudel to the post of Finance Minister for the second time. Former Finance Minister Yuvraj Khatiora's resignation had prompted the Prime Minister to take over the Finance Ministry, which he has now delegated to Bishnu Paudel. With Khatiora being appointed as the chief financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Paudel was touted to take over the Finance Ministry. The last time when Bishnu Paudel was the Finance Minister, Khatiora was the Vice Chairman of National Planning Commission, working in the shadow of the Finance Minister. However, this time around, Khatiora has already been appointed as Nepal's ambassador to the United States. Paudel will have to face challenges to lift up the falling economy of Nepal, which has seen loss of both financial power and people's lives. With the world economy under a serious meltdown, there is little hope for any foreign assistance. The World Bank has already released a report stating that many developed nations also face an uphill task of recovering their economy, with South Asia being one of the worst hit regions. The Finance Ministry will have to come up with strong strategies to fill the void created by the disruption in import-export due to coronavirus-ensued lockdowns. It is also imperative for any finance minister to gain the trust of the investors who have been complaining of an adverse economic climate for any major investment. Loss in foreign businesses, fostering illegal business channels, and increasing unemployment are some of the dire challenges that need immediate addressing from the government. Another big challenge for the finance minister will be to address the issue of corruption. However, with his name also muddled in the Balwatar land scam, there is a lot of work for the newly appointed finance to head to clear his name. there is also a big opportunity for Paudel to re-emerge with a clean image if he is able to address the situation surrounding the presence of middlemen in the political scenario. A transparent modality in the budget expenditure and a strong strategy for uplifting a failing economy might help Paudel establish himself as a strong financial minister.
And now the news from the economic front. Meanwhile, there was excitement surrounding the appointment of Bishnu Paudel in the position of finance minister with expectation of a major rise in the share market index. However, the final trading day did not see any such increase. The Nipsey index rose by just 1.29 points to reach 1,562.46. The sensitive index, which measures the Class A indices in the market, also only rose by 0.33 points. The market also saw improvements for commercial banks, some businesses, hydropowers, mutual fund, among others. Rest of the sectors saw their share prices slightly drop on Thursday. A total of 196 companies traded 4.9 million units of shares 23,089 times on Thursday, which brought the total transaction to 1.42 billion rupees. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The flu vaccine protects people from seasonal influenza, not the coronavirus, but avoiding the flu is especially important this year, the Associated Press reported. According to the news agency, health officials and medical groups are urging people to get either the flu shot or nasal spray. This has been recommended so that doctors and hospitals don't face the extra strain of having to treat influenza in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. The illnesses have such similar early symptoms that people who get the flu may mistakenly think they have got COVID-19, says Dr. Gregory Polland, an infectious disease specialist at Mayo Clinic. Only a test can tell the two apart. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, recommends the flu vaccine for everyone starting at 6 months of age and suggests getting it by the end of October. The CDC says the vaccine will not cause you to fall ill with the flu and that the protection it provides takes about 2 weeks to kick in. And the flu vaccine isn't perfect, but studies show if the vaccinated person gets sick, they don't get as severely ill. The government of Japan has reportedly decided to release treated water containing radioactive substances from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant into the sea. Reuters confirmed the news today, citing Jiji News Agency and other media reports. A formal decision is expected to be made within this month, the reports said. Tokyo Electric has collected more than 1 million tons of contaminated water since the plant was crippled by an earthquake and tsunami in 2011. France has been struggling with rising COVID-19 infections similar to the most of Europe, as it confirmed record high 30,000 total cases yesterday. Reuters has cited French health authorities who on Thursday reported the number of new daily coronavirus infections jumped above 30,000 for the first time since the beginning of the pandemic. French President Emmanuel Macron on Wednesday had to yet again impose night curfews in Paris and 8 other big cities where the COVID-19 outbreak is high. There were a total of 30,621 new COVID-19 infections over the past 24 hours, up on Wednesday's 22,591, while hospitalizations and deaths linked to the disease also rose. UK has also been struggling with rising infections since the past 2 weeks. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Kings 11 Punjab produced an emphatic 8 wickets win over the Royal Challengers Bangalore after a series of 4 consecutive losses. The Challengers won the toss and decided to bat first at the Sharjah cricket ground. The pick of the batsman was captain Virat Kohli, who scored 48 in 39 deliveries, but there was little support for the Indian captain. An 8-ball 25-run cameo from Chris Morris helped the Challengers reach a decent total of 171 from the allotted 20 overs with the loss of 6 wickets. In reply, captain KL Rahul, paired with opener Mayank Agrawal, gave the team from Punjab a strong start. Agrawal was dismissed on 45 runs from 25 deliveries, which brought West Indian batsman Chris Gayle into the middle. Gayle scored 53 runs in 45 deliveries but was run out in the final over with the game all but over. KL Rahul was awarded the man of the match title for his not out 61 in 49 deliveries. The loss for RCB meant they stay in the 3rd position behind Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals, while Punjab remains rock bottom with 4 points. Today, second in the table, Mumbai Indians will take on 4th placed Kolkata Knight Riders, who are on 10 and 8 points respectively. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Government transfers around a dozen secretaries, the decision taken soon after cabinet reshuffle. Coronavirus cases in Nepal surge above 121,000, death toll nears 700. Cooking gas explosion in the capital causes severe injury to 3 people, more than 25 sustain minor injuries. CDC recommends taking flu vaccine. The shots will prevent seasonal flu and severe illness. And Kings 11 Punjab produced their first win in last 5 matches, dents RCB's hopes of going to the top of the table. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.